Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Wave Podcast here at the Culture Wave Media Network, and we are here to discuss the Emmy nominations, the 2025 Emmy noms. They just dropped as of today, as of this recording. We're recording on Tuesday, July 15th, and we are going to break down the nominees for you guys. We're not going to make a bunch of predictions. We just want to kind of have our reactions to seeing the noms. And also just talk about some of the storylines, some of the surprises, some of the snubs, and all that going into the show, which I believe is actually taking place in September. Yeah, September 7th, I believe it is. Yes. So we're going to talk about all that stuff with you guys. Make sure you guys are interacting in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts on all these nominees breaking, who your picks are for the Emmys and stuff like that. But I'm going to be one of your hosts for this episode. My name is Darian Scallamoni. I am joined this time by Liz Seiko.
What's happening?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Liz, we were talking before we started recording. I feel like you've probably watched the most television out of our whole crew, which is why you're always on this episode, because there's always so much to talk about. And you're like, I've seen this, I've seen that. So thank you for joining me on this episode. I have a lot of holes in some of this, but I do feel like at this point I've watched more now than I did last year.
Okay.
Leading up to the Emmys, but I still have a lot of blind spots, so proceed with caution.
It's funny that you say like you feel like I've seen a lot, because looking at this list, I'm like, oh Jesus, I haven't seen like
but
that
like if I look
one.
at best drama series, I feel like so.
How many have you seen?
I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, and I feel like you might have seen 6. Maybe you've seen. Well, we can go over it.
5.
Okay, so you're one more. Okay, so we'll see.
So not that much.
Comedy series, I'm really lacking. I
think I might be better at comedy.
Yeah, I've only seen 2 fully, so I'm like really behind.
I've seen 8 out of the 9.
So there you go. So you've seen everything. Yeah. So excited to dive into it though, but we're gonna start with just reading off the nominees, maybe having a couple conversations about what we think could win. But like I said, we're not gonna have a lot of conversation in terms of predicting every single winner, because we're going to do that in a separate episode for you guys. So I guess we'll go back and forth. I have the Hollywood Reporter one up. I don't know if you have that one up. Oh, look at us.
Wow.
So I'll start with best drama series. You'll go to comedy, and then we'll go back and forth. All right. But we'll just kind of talk about every nominee as we go. So best drama series, we have Andor, we have The Diplomat, The Last of Us, Paradise, The Pit, Severance, Slow Horses, and The White Lotus. So I have seen Andor, The Last of Us, Severance, and The White Lotus. You can see all of our reactions to those shows on the channel week by week. We broke down every single one of those shows, so you guys can see what we thought about all of those. For you, Liz, you have seen, I believe, those same 4 plus one other one, correct? You haven't seen Andor.
I have not seen Andor. I've seen The Diplomat, The Last of Us, The Pit, Severance, The White Lotus.
Okay. Now, off the bat, I went to a wedding this weekend. Whoever's watching from the wedding, shout out you. Hi. But everyone was like, have you seen The Pit?
Oh, it's so good.
So I know I'm way behind on The Pit.
Good.
It's probably going to be my next binge, because I know it could have that binge effect. And plus, it might be the front runner for the award, which is kind of crazy, because Severance at the same time has the most nominations. Plus, The White Lotus is always a darling. And then if it were up to me, Andor is the best thing I've watched all year, including film and television. So, but I don't think it's going to win. So that's how I feel about drama. For you, how are you feeling about this category?
I haven't seen Andor, so I can't speak on that, but I think that it's really between The Pit and Severance, honestly. I think, though, for me, The Pit is just a better season, maybe than Severance's season, because this is for Severance season 2. If it was going against Severance season 1, a part of me thinks that maybe Severance would take it, but The Pit season 1 is like a freaking firecracker. So I don't know which way. I got to think on it a little bit more, but if I had to pick, I'd say The Pit right now.
But you're leaning towards those two.
Yeah.
You don't think White Lotus has a chance?
No, I don't think it was its strongest season. I still really loved it. You can hear my thoughts on it. I was like one of the more positive people out of this group
you had
about
the highest
that season.
Score out of the 3 of us, yeah.
But I just think when it comes to like overall like wrapping up seasons, not necessarily the show as a whole, The White Lotus kind of falls back a little bit.
Okay. You want to hit us with the noms for comedy?
All right. Best comedies. We have Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, Nobody Wants This, Only Murders in the Building, Shrinking, The Studio, and What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay.
So the only one that I have not seen on this list is What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay.
Everything else I've seen. And yeah. What about you?
So all the way through, all I've seen is The Bear, which is season 3 that is being represented in these Emmys. So not the most recent season that just dropped, but season 3. And The Studio, which we also covered on the channel. You guys can check that out. A lot of the other shows I have at least watched some episodes of the series at some point. Another show I have to watch still is Nobody Wants This. I haven't watched it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen an episode of Only Murders in the Building, which is shocking because I feel like I'm one of the only people who hasn't. And everything else I've at least seen an episode from, even if it's not from the most recent season. But I still actually think one of the 2 shows that I've watched is going to win because I think it's The Studio's to lose.
Okay.
I think that I would be very surprised in a show that's so Hollywoodized and Hollywood is obsessed with meta and dealing within their own industry, and The Studio is literally that I think that show is going to win a ton of awards. I think it's going to be the biggest one all season. I do think Hacks obviously has a chance.
I was going to say, it's funny that you say that like they like the meta, because this is the first season of Hacks where we're actually in like LA on like set studios, not necessarily in like stand-up Vegas world. And so
it's probably between the two.
It's between the two. After seeing everything, I mean, I don't know what We Do in the Shadows is feeling over there, but I don't really feel like they're going to come in strong. I think it's between The Studio and Hacks. I really love Hacks. And like their writing, I feel like is only getting better and better every season, which not many shows can do. Like most shows, they start dipping. And I think the Hacks just gets funnier and funnier. Studio, though, was really sharp, really well written. So like it's one of the two. It's a toss-up.
I think the one thing is if we were able to see like how the votes were divvied up, I think this would be the closest category out of all of them.
Probably.
Because I think that there are enough people that love all of these shows individually. Like there are people that I know that absolutely adore Shrinking because it deals with the comedy and the drama, and it's like the Ted Lasso. It's the new Ted Lasso, and it's Apple. The Studio, again, with the meta aspect of it, Hacks, a lot of people say, is the best written show on television. Abbott is still like, it's won a ton of awards already. The Bear can't stop losing. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's a lot in that category that could happen, but it's a stacked category. It is. It's a big
probably
category.
One of the heaviest hitting ones.
Definitely.
All right.
Best limited or anthology series, we have Netflix's Adolescence, the newest season of Black Mirror for Netflix, Dying for Sex, which is an FX on Hulu show, Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story, which is the newest season of the Ryan Murphy anthology series, and then The Penguin, which was on HBO and HBO Max, the DC series. So I have seen the 2 probably most popular in this category I still have not watched, which is Adolescence, which is the 2nd most viewed show in the history of Netflix. So again, I'm one of very few that has not watched it. And Monsters, which I haven't watched either. The Penguin for me, though, is fantastic. I don't think it's going to win. I think it should win, but I also haven't seen the other shows, so not fair necessarily for me to say that. Black Mirror, there were some really good individual episodes in this installment, but I thought as a whole, the season was probably better than last season, but still not. It still hasn't reached the peak that I felt like early Black Mirror was. And I really did enjoy, I'm halfway through Dying for Sex, and I really enjoy that show. And I mean, Michelle Williams doing television is crazy because she's one of the most talented actresses in the world. But if I was a betting man, I would have to say I probably think Adolescence is probably going to win this category, but I think it's between that and The Penguin, genuinely. But where are you leaning?
Yeah, I mean, I have seen Adolescence, Monsters, and The Penguin. My first instinct is I want to agree with you and go Adolescence just because it's just really well done. Like the directing. I mean, every episode is a single shot, which is like truly mind-blowing when you're watching it. So I think just that alone kind of deserves it. But you know, like I really actually loved like Monsters.
Okay.
I really loved that series. I don't know if it'll win just because of like the scope that Adolescence went through to like do the achievements. But like, so what I'm trying to think of is take out that every episode is shot in a single shot for Adolescence. I don't know if then it's as impressive story-wise.
Okay.
So that is the one thing that like I could say like the storyline probably isn't as strong as necessarily The Penguin or Monsters would be.
Okay. So we'll see what happens with that category. There was one thing that I forgot to bring up with the drama series that I just want to put it on the record. It is surprising to me that Squid Game didn't get a nomination, but I watched season 3 and I think it's not very good. So it looks like the voters probably agree with that.
Got it.
But the show is one that a lot of people were surprised that it didn't get nominated because the last 2 seasons got nominated.
I did not watch the last 2 seasons actually.
Okay, so you don't really need to.
I don't have an opinion on that.
You don't really need to. But best TV movie, I guess we'll just talk about quick because I've only seen one and you've seen none of them.
I've seen none, so I cannot give any.
So I'll just give away the nominees. Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy, The Gorge, Mountain Head, Nona's Rebel Ridge. I think it's between Mountain Head and Rebel Ridge. One is from the creator of Succession. The other one is like the breakout for Aaron Pierre, and it's like one of the most popular Netflix movies ever. So we'll talk more about that when the noms come out, or when we, I guess, do our predictions, and maybe at that point you would have seen more. Maybe I would have seen some as well.
Watch them.
Reality competition program: The Amazing Race, RuPaul's Drag Race, Survivor, Top Chef, The Traitors. You're the reality gal, but I don't know if you watch. How many of these do you watch?
I mean, I've seen all of them. Like this past season, but this current season, not
any of them.
I think The Traitors is probably
it's
the
very
only
hot.
one.
It's a very popular show,
and
right
it's
now.
only getting more and more popular. So we'll see it. But listen, RuPaul, he takes it sometimes, so he could take it. But yeah, Traitors is the only thing that I could speak on right now.
Other two, just quick, just to give you guys the noms, but we're not going to talk about them. Best Talk Series: The Daily Show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Best Scripted Variety Series: Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, Saturday Night Live. Let's get to the acting.
Let's do it.
Because this is where stuff starts to get a little crazy. And I will let you read the noms for Best Actor in a Drama Series.
All right. Best Actor in a Drama Series. We have Sterling K. Brown, Paradise. Gary Oldman, Slow Horses. Pedro Pascal, The Last of Us. Adam Scott, Severance. And Noah Weil is how you pronounce it, everyone, from The Pit. So I have seen 3 out of 5, Pedro, Adam, and Noah. I have not seen Paradise or Slow Horses, so I can't speak on either of their performances. But I think that it's really just a tight race between Adam and Noah. Like, based on my watching, I have just what we talked about before. Paradise, I unfortunately have not seen yet, but you think that a lot of people are loving it, so maybe Sterling's in the run?
I think there's a chance. I think whenever Sterling is in a race, he's usually someone that, I mean, he was like the first winner for This Is Us, and he was like the first one in a broadcast drama series in quite a long time to win an Emmy. So he's loved by the Academy. He's loved by the Emmy audience. But I do think that show has a lot more longevity, and there's going to be more to come for him. So I think he has an opportunity in the future to win. I agree with you in terms of Noah and Adam, because I think they've been the people of the moment. I think Pedro has an outside chance for the fact that though he isn't in a lot of this season, his work in this season might be better than what he did in season 1. I don't think he's going to win, but I think there's an outside chance. I'm sure you hate that, Liz, but I think that there's a shot.
It's like, okay, yes, it's better than the last season, but in comparison to the other work that these people
Liz, we know
doing,
you don't like The Last of Us. It's okay.
No, but it's just like you're comparing like apples and oranges. Like, people are giving some of the best work of their career, and it's like, well, Pedro did better than last season. Well, no.
I think Noah's going to win, ultimately, even though I haven't watched the show yet, but that's where I lean.
He is amazing.
Best Actress in the Drama Series. We have Kathy Bates for Matlock, Sharon Horgan for Bad Sisters, Britt Lauer for Severance, Bella Ramsey for The Last of Us, Kerry Russell for The Diplomat. I think it's between Britt and Kathy, because I still think that there's a lot of people, like, Matlock is one of the most watched series on cable's floundering in general right now. Like, they're losing viewership in terms of cable all the time, but Matlock is still doing really well. And I think ever since that initial firestorm of Kathy Bates being like, this is going to be the last role of my career, and then she went back on that, which is funny.
Yeah, of course.
But a lot of people love seeing her work. And I think she's doing a lot of great things. So I think there's always a chance for a veteran actress to get the recognition for that.
Yeah.
Britt Lauer, on the other hand, might have done the best work on TV all year. So I really hope she gets the recognition she deserves, but we'll have to see what happens, because this is kind of a, I don't want to say it's a weaker category, but there are people in this category that I think in a different year might not get in.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, I don't really know too much of like where I want to go with this one. I kind of agree with you. I think I need to watch Matlock just to decide if this. I mean, Kathy Bates is incredible though in everything she does. So like, a part of me is like, just give it to her because she's not gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. I don't know. I do like Kerry Russell a lot though. I like her in The Diplomat. So I don't know. This is one that I'm not really like super confident in.
Okay. Also, huge snub in Best Actor for a Drama Series for Diego Luna in Andor. It was probably the biggest snub and surprise of the day because the series got a number of nominations and they didn't get a single acting nom. And when Mark and I were talking about that show week to week on here, we were like, well, Diego's a given. And we're hoping that Kyle Soller and Denise Goff get noms. And unfortunately, Andor got no nominations, which is very sad that maybe arguably the stronger season of the two, they didn't get as much recognition. It's very upsetting. But you know what? People want to keep boycotting Star Wars. That's fine. I'm not going to fight with you about it.
Fight with them.
Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. Liz, take it away.
Me. Severance, we have Zach Cherry. We have Walter Goggins, The White Lotus.
We've made this mistake before.
Walton Goggins, The White Lotus. My page just moved. Jason Isaacs, The White Lotus. James Marsden, Paradise. I didn't know he was in that. Sam Rockwell, The White Lotus. Tremel Tillman, Severance. And Mr. John Turturro, Severance. Thoughts?
I will be so sad.
Hot.
I will be so sad, but prepared if Tremel Tillman does not win this award. I think that if he doesn't win this award, I will consider boycotting the Emmys next year.
Okay.
I think he is so good in Severance, and this season shows a lot more dynamic layers to his performance. And I don't want to take things away from actors in The White Lotus, his castmates in Severance. I haven't seen Paradise, so I can't comment on James Marsden. I think Walton Goggins turned in an amazing performance, and it's a showier performance in some ways. I mean, Walton Goggins is not leading a marching band in the middle of an office. And I am one of the biggest Sam Rockwell fans in the world. And I think you were a bit surprised by his nomination. I wasn't, based on the chatter I had heard. But this is Tremel Tillman's moment, and I think he really deserves the award. So if he doesn't win, I'm going to be really, really upset. But I am going to be prepared because I do have a feeling that it's going to go to Walton Goggins. But I kind of think it's a two-horse race between the two of them. And I think there's a little bit of a chance for Rockwell and a little bit of an even smaller chance for Isaacs. But I do think that ultimately it's going to be Goggins. What do you think? Where are you leaning?
Yeah, I'm going to break your heart. I really don't think it's going to go to him this year. I agree. I think he deserves it. I think he was really brilliant in this season.
Milchick. Poor Milchick.
But I think it's going Goggins. I think people were just like, he showed to me a little bit more heart. And a little bit more of like a full scope character, which I mean does make sense because White Lotus this season is like a full storyline for that character. But I don't really see it going to Tillman that much, DJ. I'm sorry. But yeah, Sam Rockwell, I was really surprised. Like, yes, his monologue was crazy, like blew all of our minds. I just am surprised that he wasn't like a guest.
I think he's in enough of the show that he gets considered for supporting. Because he's in
2 episodes?
No, he's in 3 or 4 of them. I think he's in 3.
Is he really?
I think he's in 3.
All right. I'll give it to him that.
Best Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie. We have Colin Farrell for The Penguin, Stephen Graham for Adolescence, Jake Gyllenhaal for Presumed Innocent, Brian Tyree Henry for Dope Thief, and Cooper Koch for Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. Happy to see Gyllenhaal get a nomination. I just watched that show a few weeks ago and absolutely loved it. But I think this is a race between Colin and Steven. I think that it's going to be between the two of them. I don't have a lean yet. After I watch Adolescence, I can have a better idea of where I think the lean is. But I think it's between the two of them.
Okay. I have to say something. I find it very interesting that Steven was nominated from Adolescence as Best Actor and not, what is the boy's name?
He is nominated, but he's nominated for supporting.
Yes. So, like, for my opinion, it should have been flipped.
Yeah, it's probably just a play.
I think it's a play, 100%.
Just a political play for the series.
Because I think that I don't know if adolescence is going to take this category. I think Gyllenhaal is going to take it.
Really?
I do. I love Presumed Innocent.
I do too. I really, really love that show. I didn't think you liked it as much as I did. I'm very
thought
surprised.
He was brilliant in it.
Very surprised that you leaned.
I
that
also
way.
love him in everything, kind
I
of.
do
So
too.
like honestly, anything he's in, I'm kind of just gonna be like, give it a Jake. But so a part of me thinks that that's just like the politics of it, of being like, okay, we know. I'm sorry, I don't know the boy's name. I need
Owen Cooper.
Owen Cooper. Yeah. I think that they really want to give him a chance, and if he was in this category, he probably wouldn't.
Okay.
Which is why they probably switched them. But for me, the dad isn't necessarily the lead actor. He's more supporting than the boy. That's my thoughts.
Okay. Best supporting actress.
Best supporting actress in a drama series. Miss Patricia Arquette, Severance. Carrie Coon, The White Lotus. Catherine Lanasa, I think is how you say her last name, The Pit. Julianne Nicholson, Paradise. Parker Posey, The White Lotus. Natasha Rothwell, The White Lotus. And our true Amy Lou Wood, The White Lotus. Who I have a very nitpicky thing too on this. The Pit, somebody was snubbed 100%.
I heard about this, I believe.
Taylor Dearden. I don't know how to say her last name, but she 100% deserved it to just be nominated. I mean, she was like one of the heart and soul. She's also Bryan Cranston's daughter.
Okay, yes, I've seen her.
But she was like a very big standout. She was one of the favorites. So I'm surprised that she didn't get a nomination. Like, honestly, I think one of the White Lotus people probably shouldn't have been nominated, and she should have in their place. For me, I think probably either Carrie Coon or Natasha probably didn't, out of the two, could have been dropped off. So that's like a snub for me. I think I'm going to give it to Parker. I'm going to give it to Posey. She like really had my heart and soul that season.
Yeah. So I can't comment again on the Pit stuff. I do have this lean where I think that because it's such an ensemble-driven show, similar to The Bear, I think that we're going to get this moment with The Pit next year where a lot of shows are going to be falling off. And I think that The Pit is going to dominate
you think?
a lot of categories next year. I think that you think about, we're not going to get a new season of Severance next Emmy season. We probably will get White Lotus, but there hasn't even been an announcement for where the location is going to be yet.
I don't know if we'll have White Lotus next season.
So we might not have that. We will have Paradise. Andor's already done. We won't have Last of Us. Like, there's tons of opening in drama series next year where I think there's going to be a lot more openings for The Pit. So I think deserve. That's why I actually think the only win The Pit's going to wind up getting is going to be Noah, because I think that they're going to dominate, and I think the industry very rarely brings a new show in and wraps their arms around it and is like, we're gonna like. That's just my lean.
But like, I also get nervous with The Pit because like they like the first season was so good.
Yeah, it's like a show of the moment.
Yes, and I don't know how longevity wise can go because it just takes place in an ER without it becoming like procedural kind of. So I don't know. We'll see how long it lasts.
But that was just, I thought of that with The Pit. Supporting actress, I think it's one of three, all from The White Lotus. I think they're dominating the category, and it's ironic because I'm surprised that you said
Posey.
I'm surprised you said Carrie Coon to be cut from the list, because I would think that you would think that she, because I if I had to pick between the three of them, I think she's gonna win.
Really?
Yeah, I think that it's just the way that, again, the voting kind of goes out, and I think the message that she had at the end of the season is what voters are going to go for. If I were to pick who I would want to win, I would honestly probably pick Amy. I thought she was like the breakout of the season. Like I always liked her as an actress. I loved her in Sex Education, but she showed a different level to me, to even where like now she's on the tops of casting lists because of what she did on that show. So I think it's between those two and Parker Posey. And we'll kind of see how it shakes out, but I think it's White Lotus all the way.
All right.
In terms of that, best guest actor in a drama series: Giancarlo Esposito, The Boys; Scott Glenn for The White Lotus; Sean Hatosi for The Pit; Joe Pantoliano, The Last of Us; Forest Whitaker, Andor; and Jeffrey Wright, The Last of Us. Can't believe Forest Whitaker is the only one to get nominated for Andor. I don't know, again, much of The Pit, so I can't comment on Sean Hatosi. He probably has a good chance because he's representing that show.
Uh-huh.
Jeffrey Wright, in the very limited work he did in The Last of Us was so great that it literally kept me watching the show week to week, hoping for more of him. So I always think there's a shot with him being in the category. But I can't comment much on this because I don't have a lot from this category. Really.
This is kind of like another one where I'm honestly not sure about because there's none that are like absolute slam dunks for me. I agree. I think it could go to Sean because the pit just is so good and like that makes him very good too. I wouldn't say his performance was like a standout. It just was like a strong performance. It wasn't necessarily weak at all, but I don't know. Jeffrey Wright for me, anytime he's on screen, he's just so good. He has so much. He's so dynamic and like he saved that show for me that season. So I don't know. Maybe they give it to him. I don't know. This category is a little wonky for me right now.
Hit me with the guest actress.
Okay, we have Jane Alexander, Severance, Gwendolyn Christie, Severance, Caitlin Dever, The Last of Us, Cherry Jones, The Handmaid's Tale, Catherine O'Hara, The Last of Us, Merritt Weber, Severance. I
think it's between two people.
Who do you think it's between?
Very different performances.
Okay.
But I think it's between Catherine O'Hara and Gwendolyn Christie. Gwendolyn has such a big moment at the end of the season. And again, this is a guest category. It has to be someone that really stands out for what they do. Caitlin Dever always has a chance based on what that character does.
And you think that she's probably going to get more attention next season with it, right?
She's going to be in an entirely different category next season. So I think that, and I think the voters obviously know that. So I think that she has a chance, but I don't really know. I haven't kept up with Handmaid's Tale, so I can't comment on Cherry Jones's performance.
I do love Cherry.
Merritt Wever, I think she's a very underrated actress, but she has good moments with Zach Cherry in their relationship, but I wouldn't put her above what Gwendolyn did at the end of that season.
I agree.
And Catherine O'Hara, I mean, Vinny's producing this episode, and Vinny and Michael were talking about that series for weeks, and I just think, oh, you know what? I am such an idiot. I'm reading it as the studio, and it's The Last of Us. So
for Catherine O'Hara.
Yes. So
that's why I was
apologize.
A little bit like,
she's been in everything this year, guys.
Catherine O'Hara,
Sorry.
what an interesting
Catherine
choice.
O'Hara she's probably nominated for supporting actress in the studio, to be honest with you. I'm going Gwendolyn Christie. I don't have another poll. That's my pick.
Okay,
that's
locked
my pick.
in.
Because I don't, from everybody else, I don't think they did enough to stand out to leave you again like as a guest actress in that series with Gwendolyn Christie, like it's a character that it sticks with you, you know? So that's my pick with that. But it's a weird category. The guest categories are always weird.
Yeah, they're always just kind of like fan picks.
Yeah.
I feel like in a way of like, who just had like the most.
It's become more prominent over time too, because now all of these stars can do more television.
Yeah.
And they could pop in for individual episodes, and like so many series are now known for doing that more. Like The Bear always has a lot of people in these categories because they just show up. So I don't know. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Best actress in a comedy series. Do you want to do this? You want me to do it?
You do it.
Okay. Uzo Aduba for The Residents, which that show was canceled, so can't believe she got a nomination. But she's a great actress. Kristen Bell, Nobody Wants This. Quinta Brunson, Abbott Elementary. Io, Adebri, The Bear, Jean Smart, Hacks. It's probably Jean Smart.
It's 100%.
It's probably Jean Smart. There is always a chance for Quinta because of what she does on that show. But I think she's won before. I believe Jean also has won the Emmy, but I'm not positive. But I think it's Jean's to lose, genuinely. And you feel similarly.
Yeah, I mean, Hacks is just like, to me, this, like, it's on another level compared to even like The Bear for that season, specifically because we're talking about The Bear season 3. Yeah. I just think that it's on a different level compared to that season specifically. Yeah. So I have nothing else on that round. All right. So then we go to the best actor in a comedy series. We have Adam Brody, Nobody Wants This, Seth Rogen, The Studio, Jason Segel, Shrinking, Martin Short, Only Murders in the Building, Jeremy Allen White, The Bear. I'll go first. So I've seen all of these, and I think that it's a slam dunk for Seth. I think we talked about this a little bit before. I think Seth's doing something different that I haven't seen him do before. I think you might feel different about that. But for me, I think it was really refreshing seeing him as a leading man who also isn't just kind of like somebody, like, I don't know, not the typical trope that he's doing. For me, this was a big stretch for him, and I think he really landed it. So for me, I really love his role in this, but also I think all of these performances are really good. Nobody really, for me, is somebody that shouldn't be getting a nom, so I'm not surprised by any of these nominations.
Yeah, so I've only seen The Studio and The Bear in full. I will say that from the little bit that I have seen from Shrinking, I just think it's really great to see Siegel do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I do think he's going to win eventually for that show. I don't know how long it's going to run, but I know next season, like, his father is supposed to come into the series. That might be something for him. Jeremy Allen White, I said before we started recording, has won for the previous 2 seasons for The Bear, for the Emmy. So it's his to lose, essentially, when you look at it that way. I think, in a way, I said this off camera, I think Seth does a lot of being Seth in a lot of his performances. But do I think that's going to take away from him getting recognized? No, I don't. I think that Hollywood wants to give this guy an award because a lot of what he's doing is championing the industry at a time where the industry is being neglected by a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I could see them wanting to recognize that. As I'm reading through the snubs of this award season, though, there's a little part of my brain that's saying it might be Martin Short because Steve Martin and Selena were both snubbed. And I think it's interesting that there's only one nom because I'm pretty sure that the other 2 have won previously, whether it's for Golden Globes or for Emmys. And I know a lot of people have been like campaigning for Martin Short to get a win in his career. So I think it's between Short, Rogen, and Jeremy Allen White. And I have no lean as of right now. I have to rewatch The Bear, and I have to kind of see.
And you have to binge all of Only Murders.
And I have to binge all of Only Murders. But I think there's an outside shot for Short. I think this is sneakily one of the most complicated categories of this
Really?
year.
See, I feel the opposite.
I really do.
I feel the opposite.
But Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. This is another stacked category. Ike Barinholtz for The Studio, Coleman Domingo for The Four Seasons, Harrison Ford for Shrinking, Jeff Hiller for Somebody Somewhere, Eben Moss-Backrack, The Bear, Michael Urie, Shrinking, and Bowen Yang, Saturday Night Live. Boy, I would love to see Ike Barinholtz win. I think he has a shot. Harrison Ford getting his first Emmy nomination is groundbreaking.
It's crazy.
He's 83 years old. He is one of the biggest icons in the history of cinema. So it wouldn't be shocking. Coleman Domingo, to me, was the saving grace of Four Seasons. I think the show was good, but it was way better when he was on screen. And Eben is like my favorite character in The Bear, and I do think that he has a stronger season 3 than season 4.
Yeah.
And he's won again previously. So tougher category, a lot of different faces and tones in terms of these performances. So I don't have a lean just yet. What are you feeling about this category?
You know, this is probably one of the more interesting like nom categories for me. Like Bowen for Saturday Night Live for me is kind of a crazy one, but like
he's been nominated
also
before
so good.
too, though. Yeah,
I know, but he's just like, I feel like he's starting to become like this generation's like face for that show again, which is good. I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling anything like really strong. I mean, they may give it to Harrison just because like it's an iconic moment for him, and he really is like a sweet role.
It's against type for him.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is like the interesting thing. Well, his character is very like offstandish, but like it is a sweet role in general. And his character is going through a lot, I would say, and a lot of changes. So, I mean, I could see it going that way, but honestly, none that I'm like 100% on. Not locked in. But nothing surprises me in that that round.
That's a complicated category. But the next one might be even more complicated.
What are we doing next?
Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series.
Could you read these? I'm going to butcher some of these names.
Liz is nervous to butcher some names. We have Liza Colon-Zayas for The Bear, Hannah Einbinder for Hacks, Katherine Hahn, The Studio, Janelle James for Abbott Elementary, Catherine O'Hara for The Studio, Cheryl Lee Ralph for Abbott Elementary, and Jessica Williams for Shrinking. This is a very complicated category.
I've seen all of these.
So I've seen I've at least seen some of their performances in each of them. I know, again, Hacks is a series that could completely seal the night. With Hannah getting recognition, it would be great for her.
I don't think she's ever won.
I don't believe she's ever won either. Liza won for last season of The Bear, but this is the season where she had a single episode about her that was arguably the best episode of the season.
Yes.
So I think there's always a chance for her. As I mistakenly said for the last category with Catherine O'Hara being nominated, I think that Catherine O'Hara and Ike Barinholtz are the best parts of the studio. So I think that she definitely has a chance in that category as well. And then I know that, like, I'm pretty sure Cheryl Lee Ralph had won for Abbott.
Yeah.
And people were pissed that Janelle hadn't won because they thought it was a stronger season for Ava. So it's a very complicated category.
This is a good
literally
stacked.
no lean. I have no lean. I have to catch up on Hacks.
I'd be honestly, I think all of them are deserving.
They should all share the award.
I don't agree with that, but whoever wins, I'm going to be happy and completely understand why, because I think that all of them are very strong contenders, and I agree with all of the noms.
Yeah.
I do.
Do you want me to just keep going?
Yeah, you just take it over.
Take it over.
Take it over.
Best guest actor in a comedy series. It is everyone from the studio plus John Bernthal from The Bear. So we have Bryan Cranston, Dave Franco, Ron Howard, Anthony Mackie, Martin Scorsese, all nominated for separate episodes of the studio, and then John Bernthal. So another for a guest actor category, this is the most star-studded you could ever get.
Absolutely.
You have 2 award-winning directors getting nominated for their acting.
You know they're all just having a good time. Like when this nom came out, they were like.
By the way, I totally hope that Martin Scorsese and Ron Howard are at the Emmys because that would be great. This is hard because we covered the studio week to week, and the cameos are so effective, and the writing for them is so over the top and so great.
Yeah.
That everybody does great work, and even with Bernthal, where it's like in past seasons, he might have been nominated for like 1 or 2 scenes. Or again, like, I mean, he's worthy for being nominated for the Thanksgiving episode. But the episode he has with Liza last season too is so strong.
Yeah.
So there's a part of me that really wants it to be Marty because that would be such a beautiful thing and it would make my heart soar to the sky. But I can't lie. Bryan Cranston, for what he does in the final 2 episodes of the studio, is remarkable.
Yeah.
It is literally doing Charlie Chaplin.
He's doing physical comedy
on crack, literally.
Yeah,
and it's unbelievable. So it's hard. Do you feel like? How do you feel with this category?
I think it's just a fun category. Like, this is what guest actor is meant to be, is just like throwing like the biggest people that we can think of and like giving them just a fun role that doesn't necessarily have pressure on it. But yeah, I think it's Cranston's. I think that his performance was just like completely
so
over the top and so ridiculous, but not cheesy too. It could have been really bad. Like if they had given it to anybody else, it could have been like, oh God, this really is kind of going downhill. But he was perfect.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a stacked category. Best guest actress in a comedy series, we have Olivia Colman for The Bear, Jamie Lee Curtis for The Bear, Cynthia Erivo for Poker Face, Robbie Hoffman for Hacks, Zoe Kravitz for The Studio, Julianne Nicholson for Hacks. Robbie Hoffman is a talent of the moment. I know that they have been given a lot of opportunities now with writing deals, and they're getting their own HBO series. I don't watch the show, so I can't comment. Jamie Lee Curtis has a very, 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 very strong episode with her daughter in The Bear in season 3, which is very hard to ignore when it comes to the guest actress category. I always love Olivia Colman, and I think she also does strong work with Jeremy Allen White. And Zoe Kravitz does great work in The Studio. So another hard category. Because of how much I know about how Robbie Hoffman is having this moment, I think they'll give it to them. But Jamie Lee Curtis, I mean, it's hard because Jamie Lee's work in that episode is really, really strong.
Yeah, Robbie is very funny. But, you know, it's just so interesting, too, of, like, what categorizes guest like a guest
I
star
really
in
think it's
anything.
politics.
Because
I don't think it comes down to
for
anything
me,
other than that.
Robbie is barely in Hacks in comparison to what Zoe is in the studio. Like
Yeah.
it's they're not even compatible, the amount of screen time the two have. So I just find it interesting. And yeah, I don't really know who it's gonna go to. I could see it really going to anybody. I think it's just more of like, are people feeling more sentimental and want to go Jamie Lee Curtis route because her episode is a little bit more heartfelt, or do they want to go the like funnier route? I don't know. I don't know what they vote for.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't know how they vote.
Put us on the committee.
I don't know.
Let us vote. Give us a vote, and we'll see where we end up. Best Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie. We have Cate Blanchett for Disclaimer, Megan Fahey for Sirens, Rashida Jones for Black Mirror, Kristen Milioti for The Penguin, and Michelle Williams for Dying for Sex. I want this to be Kristen Milioti.
I know.
She's always in these crazy categories with these crazy talent. And not that she's not a crazy talented actress, but I mean, you're in a category with Cate Blanchett, Michelle Williams. Like this is crazy. But another one where like if you asked me today to rank the best performances that I have seen on television this year, Kristen is probably in my top 5. So I think she's very deserving of the award. I don't know if she's going to win, but I'm not sure. You haven't seen a lot of these, right?
No, I've only seen The Penguin.
Okay.
So I'll just go with her.
Okay.
I don't have very much to say.
We'll circle back.
I mean, I know everybody else is very talented. I love everybody else, but I can't really just speak on like the show or their performances.
Yeah, for sure. I got it. Best Supporting Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie. We have Javier Bardem for Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. Bill Camp for Presumed Innocent. Owen Cooper, who you mentioned before, Liz, for Adolescence. Rob Delaney for Dying for Sex. Peter Sarsgaard for Presumed Innocent. And Ashley Walters also for Adolescence. I love Bill Camp and Presumed Innocent.
I know.
I think he's one of the finest character actors we have today. I think there's a chance that he does have a chance to win. But there's something about the Owen Cooper performance and the fact that he's the youngest nominee ever. And I think it reminds me again of like how like Noah Weil or Wiley and Owen Cooper, like they're kind of been the yin and yang of this award season.
Yeah.
And I think that we're going to see both of them kind of get recognized. But, I mean, the kid obviously is talented. He's got nominated at 15 years old. So
crazy what he does. Like, it's actually insane for him being that young and seeing him. One, essentially, he's putting on a play for, I think it's 4 episodes long because you are just, there's no cuts. He's doing his performance fully through. There's one episode specifically that I think may have won him the award. And just like it's all very carved acting and it's very heightened for like his age. So a part of me thinks that like it's his to lose.
From what you've seen, because you've seen all of these performances.
Except
for
Sex.
Rob Delaney.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think his is the strongest performance out of the 5 nominees?
It's hard to say strongest. I think it's the most surprising. And sometimes I think the most surprising performance wins.
Be the win. But if you had, so if I was asking you what do you think the strongest performance of the 5 are, what would you say?
I think Bill Camp.
Okay.
Because his is so it's just strong throughout. Owen Cooper's performance, I think it's he just has like this one episode that really is like mind-blowing. And like I think that's the thing. Bill Camp is very steady throughout the show. Owen Cooper like shocks you at times. And I think that is just showy and that's what they want for an award show.
Yeah, that's fair. I think this is our last acting category. So this is the last one where we can maybe make a prediction. But Best Supporting Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie, we have Erin Doherty, Adolescence, Ruth Negga, Presumed Innocent, Deirdre O'Connell, The Penguin, Chloe Sevigny for Monsters, The Lyle and Eric Menendez story, Jenny Slate for Dying for Sex, Christine Tremarco for Adolescence. Be really nice to see Jenny Slate win because I think she's like one of those good people in Hollywood. Ruth Negga does great work in Presumed Innocent.
Yep.
Deirdre O'Connell is so good in The Penguin. This is one I don't really have a lean. I've heard a lot of people really like Chloe Sevigny's performance in Monsters as well. I don't know much about it because I haven't watched the series, but
she's good. She's good in it.
yeah, so
It's like a different performance than she usually does because I feel like
it's
Chloe.
more muted.
Yes.
Yeah,
Usually she's very edgy and like riled up, and this one is much more of like a rich mother.
Yeah, Bardem is more of like the lunatic in this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I can't really comment much on it. I know Aaron Doherty, a lot of people have talked about too for adolescence. So, you have anything on this category?
No, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I don't really have a gut feeling. I think that all of these make sense to me of why they were nominated. I can't really speak on Jenny Slate, but I mean, I enjoy her, so good for her getting the nomination.
The rest of the categories, I think we'll just read them off really quickly.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of writing and directing. Not that those are less than, but a lot of people might not know any of these people by name or things like that. But best writing for a comedy series, we have Abbott Elementary, Hacks, The Rehearsal, Somebody Somewhere, The Studio, and What We Do in the Shadows. The Rehearsal was another one that a lot of people talked about being a snub because season 2 of that show was literally everywhere, so much that it made it to like news stations because of how insane Nathan Fielder is. So a little surprised it didn't get other nominations, but that might lean into it maybe getting a win for that category. Best writing for a drama series, we have Andor, 2 episodes of The Pit, 2 different writers, Severance, Slow Horses, and The White Lotus. Best writing for a limited or anthology series or movie, we have Adolescence, Black Mirror, Dying for Sex, The Penguin, and Say Nothing. Best directing for a comedy series, this was a big standout because we have Iowa Debris getting her first nomination for directing an episode of The Bear, Hacks, Mid-Century Modern. We also have Nathan Fielder getting a nomination for directing, and Seth Rogen getting a nomination for directing as well. Best directing for a drama series, we have Andor, again, 2 episodes of The Pit, 2 episodes of Severance. Jessica Lee Gagne, who did the solo episode for Dyke and Lackman in her directorial debut, gets an Emmy nomination. So shout out to her. Ben Stiller for Severance, Mike White obviously for The White Lotus, and then Slow Horses as well. And then best directing for a limited or anthology series or movie, we have Adolescence, Dying for Sex, 2 directors for The Penguin, Sirens, and 0 Day. So those are our nominees. We went through a lot of the things. Is there anything, Liz, that any snubs or surprises still that stand out to you? One of the things we also didn't get, Elizabeth Moss didn't get a nomination for the final season of The Handmaid's Tale, where she was a constant nominee early on in the series. I'm trying to think if there was really anything else on here that I forgot. Bradley Cooper had a really crazy guest arc on this comedy series, The Righteous Gemstones. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that was a big deal when it came out. He wasn't nominated. So there's a few things. But what were some standouts or surprises or snubs for you?
I feel like I said my snubs like while we were going through it, so I don't really think I have any additional ones. Something I'm surprised about, honestly, is like, I get it, The Bear is a very prestigious show. I'm surprised that it still got as many noms for this season as it did, because season 3 just like really was not their strongest season in comparison to some of these other shows. So I would say I'm a little surprised that they're just kind of throwing it a bone. But I mean, it's a nom. If it wins everything, I'm going to be pissed.
Do you think that...
What? What do you ask?
I don't know. I think that it's more that I'm trying to figure out how to word it. Like, so you think you haven't finished season 4.
No.
But season 3 you think is a weaker season than season 4.
Yes, and I think a lot of people felt that way.
And so you would be like, if that show winds up winning a lot of awards, are you going to be upset?
Not for, I guess, the individual performances, but I think that if it takes away comedy series, I'm going to be really disappointed. And I don't picture it, which is, I'm pretty confident it won't. But if it does, I'm going to be like, what are you guys doing?
It's also not a comedic season.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like at a certain point, I think they should switch categories.
Like
you can do that, but they get a better chance in comedy series, which I understand.
At this point.
It's politics at the end of the day.
We did forget one category, which I don't want to overskirt it. And shout out to my animation crew because I did forget it and I apologize, but we're going back and I'm saying them right now. Animated program, we have Arcane, which is a Netflix series, Bob's Burgers. On Fox, Common Side Effects, which we also have reviews up on the channel for that, so check that out. Love, Death, and Robots, we also have the review of that up on the channel, Netflix series. And The Simpsons, Liz, you watch any of these?
Bob's Burgers. I'm a big fan of Bob's Burgers, so I'm gonna go with that
Okay,
one.
Arcane, based on what I've heard, still haven't watched it, I think is probably going to win. It's one of the highest rated series in the history of Netflix. And I know the Rotten Tomatoes scores are crazy for that, and it's very well produced and very well acclaimed. So I think it has a great chance. Common Side Effects is a series that I know Vinny and Sean talked about, and they were blown away with what that show did. So I'm excited to kind of... It's exciting to see that a show in a debut season plus an Adult Swim series gets that kind of nomination. Love, Death and Robots. I love that show, but this season was not great. So shocked that it got a nomination, but it was there at the end of the day. But guys, that's our coverage for the nominations for the 2025 Emmys. Let us know in the comments, what are some of your picks that you think early on? What are some categories that you think, like we had debated and talked about, you think are some of the harder categories to kind of pinpoint? What are series that you guys recommend us to check out before the awards come out? What are series that you guys hope to catch up on before we have the Emmy series or the Emmy show in September? Let us know. Give this video a like if you guys can. Subscribe to us here at the Culture Wave Media Network, and you guys can follow all the rest of our stuff on social media. All that stuff is below me in the video. It's also in our YouTube description. You can find all our stuff. We have news updates. We have tons of podcasts for you guys to check out. We have interviews up on the channel. A lot of really exciting stuff for you guys to watch and to reply to. So thank you guys for tuning in. Just signing off, I'm Darian Scalamoni.
I'm Liz Seiko.
And we'll see you guys next time.
This is The Culture.